WLNS is here for you with 6 News at 6.
Our 6 News Investigates Stolen Valor series continues tonight as the man at the center of the controversy gets arrested. It's our top story at 6. Thank you for joining us. I'm Siobhan Klepfer. Sherry Jones has the night off. Oakland County officials confirm for 6 News Kirk Lanham faces multiple felony charges related to embezzlement from a vulnerable adult. As we've been reporting since late last year, the 52-year-old has been under fire before, accused of inflating his military service while running a nonprofit to provide service dogs to veterans. Rachel Ramsey watched as police took evidence from his home today. She's here for you now with more. Rachel.
Yeah, Siobhan, 6 News first started reporting on Lanham in August when it was revealed he was claiming to be a special operations member with tours in combat zones all over the world. But his military records obtained by 6 News show Lanham never attended special operations schools or other training that would be part of a special operations service member's military file. He also claimed to be a brigadier general and a 2-star general, but the records show that when he separated from the Air Force, he had a rank of airman basic. Now, police say today's arrest indicates there was even more going on behind closed doors.
I've been anticipating this for months now, just kind of wondering when and how it was going to go down.
Law enforcement spent hours taking items from Kirk Lanham's home in Heartland Township today, including what looked to be lawn equipment.
As far as I know, they're currently in the process of seizing all of his electronic devices, computers, his vehicles.
Lanham's stepson Nathan Buchanan says his suspicions of his stepdad began a few years ago. He says Lanham was making some outrageous claims about his status with the Air Force.
Things just started to get way out of hand with how he was kind of framing things and talking about himself.
So Buchanan started digging deeper, and so did police.
So that just kind of snowballed up to this point. So yeah, here we are.
This investigation by Oakland County spans months and reveals Lanham took over the financial affairs of an elderly Korean war vet. Sources have told 6 News that when he took over that financial burden, Lanham's nonprofit was struggling to pay bills. And at the same time, 6 News was told that Lanham began arriving with more and more extravagant items, like lawn mowing equipment, security cameras, and a new Hyundai Palisades. Lanham's nonprofit was called Veteran Service Dog Organization, where he gave veterans service dogs. But after the American Kennel Club revoked Lanham's evaluator status, Lanham stepped down from the organization. Buchanan says inside Lanham's home now are several dogs who Lanham was supposedly going to give to veterans or adopt out. And when I was standing outside of Lanham's home, I could hear many dogs barking as police entered, though it's unknown where the dogs will end up.
There's going to be a lot more info that starts to kind of reveal itself, so we'll see.
And a former volunteer for the organization says they found transactions from a bank account unrelated to Lanham's nonprofit, but the account was dumping cash into the organization. The 6 News Investigates team obtained records that show more than $250,000 in spending from this elderly veteran's account that appeared to benefit the organization generally and Lanham specifically.
It's still kind of shocking to hear news like that and to see all this going on, and just kind of wondering how this is going to kind of move forward and what's going to happen after today.
Lanham is booked at the Oakland County Jail. A second suspect is expected to be informed that she has a warrant for her arrest on similar felonies and is allowed to turn herself in. Charges were authorized by the Office of the Michigan Attorney General. The office will handle the prosecution of the case in part because these allegations against Lanham span multiple counties. Siobhan, back to you.
All right, Rachel, thank you very much for that big update. Delta Township has a new supervisor tonight after the post was seemingly abandoned by the man who won the election in November. Ken Fletcher resigned as township supervisor back in September, just one day before he faced charges relating to child sex crime allegations. Regardless, voters in Delta Township overwhelmingly re-elected Fletcher to the office in November, since he was the only person on the ballot. He was and has not resumed his work for the township. Trustee Fonda Brewer was selected by the township board to replace him and was sworn in as supervisor last night. Turning now to politics. The first Democrat to announce a run for governor in 2026 is a familiar face here in Michigan politics, Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson. Our Capitol correspondent Tim Skubic has the story.
He has run in 34 marathons over the years, and now she launches the most challenging political run of her life. 47-year-old Democrat Jocelyn Benson wants this.
Today I announced also that I'll be running for governor of Michigan.
In her head, Jocelyn Benson has been running for governor for years, and now she is the first Democrat in the hunt. First, she wants the government to be more efficient and transparent, and she wants to try this for citizens if they elect her.
Trying to figure out how to save our residents time, save them money, and make all of our state agencies work efficiently and effectively.
One way to help consumers is to give them a tax cut from the state government. And while many Republicans traditionally sign the so-called no tax pledge, if elected, I'll not raise your taxes, Secretary Benson was not ready to sign it or not sign it.
I'll consider it and we'll look into it, and I'll let you know our answer as we move forward into the campaign. Again, taking pledges at this moment may not be the right way to go in that direction.
After the scrum, she did add that the no tax pledge, quote, appeared gimmicky, and she just wanted to be the best governor she could be. On another front, Ms. Benson is concerned about the rhetoric coming out of the White House and the new president, and she is concerned about deportations. But if the president wants the Michigan State Police to help to deport illegals, would she agree?
And for me is that if someone tries to come to take away the rights and freedoms of our residents, I'll be there to stand in the way.
So if he asked for the state police, you would say no?
We'll have to, I don't want to go into too many hypotheticals on that.
Well, it's not a hypothetical.
Certainly, it depends on, again, the where and the why and the what and all of those specifics.
Republicans unilaterally denounced her candidacy, claiming that she was an inefficient Secretary of State. She just laughed that off, and now she begins that marathon run for governor. It will end in 652 days. Your view in Lansing, Tim Skubic, 6 News.
Thank you, Tim. Gretchen Whitmer is still governor here in Michigan, and she just signed 19 new bills designed to keep kids and communities safe. These bills require schools to provide parents with information on safe gun storage laws, require police departments to destroy the guns they purchase through gun buyback programs, and standardize the terminology used by schools during public safety threats so law enforcement can efficiently respond. Meanwhile, the Michigan State Senate, which is controlled by Democrats, voted today to sue the Republican-controlled State House. The dispute focuses on 9 bills dealing with a variety of topics, from correction officer retirement benefits to brownfield redevelopment. All of them passed both chambers of the state legislature last year, some along party lines and others with broad bipartisan support. However, all of them originated in the state house, so it's the House's job to send those bills to the governor for her signature. But the new Republican-controlled state house has not done that yet. The new Senate Resolution 3 claims this is unconstitutional and calls on the Senate Majority Leader to begin legal action to force the House to send the bills to the governor. State Senate Republican leader Eric Nesbitt calls the move a political stunt and says the legislature should focus on blocking the upcoming increases in tipped minimum wage. House Republicans say the holdup is due to a legal review of the bills.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
It was a very chilly start to our Wednesday morning across mid-Michigan. Take a look at some of the temperatures that we were waking up to this morning. -7 degrees in Lansing and Mason. -4 was their morning low over in St. John's, and -9 degrees in Hillsdale and Charlotte. That makes this actually one of the coldest mornings that we have witnessed across mid-Michigan since February of 2021.